let's... It was on the r/game audio subreddit, Timur. Damion Sheppard. All right. This is a name I've seen around. Oh, excuse me. So, again, right away, I'm digging this site. I love this isn't scroll when I go down. It's really cool. This is really attractive. It's instantly very attractive. And I like it. And right away, boom. This is, he says to me, he says to the viewer at home, look at this thing. Excellent. And by the way, Damien's in the chat, I think, right? Is your name obvious in the chat, Damien? I know you're here for sure, right? Music implementation. Cool. And down below, once we care, hello, my name is Damion Sheppard. Or Damion. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. And I do sound, music, and implementation for video games. It is Skagnator, I wasn't sure. Oh, this is fun. So I have an iLock error on my Mac side. Let's see if this still happens. Rip. Okay, I think if I don't close Pro Tools, it'll be fine. But I think I just lost contact with my iLock. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Savin. All right, that's fine. If I don't quit Pro Tools ever, it'll be fine. So we'll just leave that window open. No big deal. So, all right. So we have, okay, Damion, cool, good. We got some stuff. We got Damion Sheppard to do sound, music implementation, more projects I worked on, etc. Portfolio, contact directly. Oh, mail to link, rip, or go here. There you go. So he's giving it the option, Matt. There you go. Very good. Cool. So projects are all here. It's like one of those pages where it's all on the same page. There's no links. It's just all in one go. Nice. Okay. Hey Tony, what's up, man? We're doing Damion right now. We just started right now, so no worries. Nature's Zombie Apocalypse, Flight of Light, Rhythm Racing, cool. Tiles of Doom, Light Night Shop, Nightlife Shop, Late Night Shop. Doesn't say light. My bad. Well, maybe it's not my bad. It's just unclear text. Late Night Shop. Okay, and then Element of Tales? Element? Aegism, Lost Tomb. I might even put the title beneath here also, man. Because if I press play on one of these and it's in the midst of it, whoa! So it's here, for example. Oh, Elementales. What is that? What it said to begin with? I think having title in text is worthwhile. Like have it one more line here, you know? Because it's all fair, all well and good to have it kind of on the thumbnail, but having it here would be really helpful. And also helps like searchability and stuff, you know. It's just for kind of a quality of life thing. Otherwise, cool. We got Fmod experimentation, sweet. Unity audio manager, sweet. Fmod rocket launcher, Fmod danger dependent stingers. Danger dependent, that's cool. Very cool. I like it. And then contact, email directly, blah blah, contact form. If you, I don't know who would use a contact form if they have their own. Like if they're gonna put their address in anyways, like why would they use this if they just can email you? I mean, usually contact forms like take the place of putting your email here. I don't know why I would use this contact form if I can just hit you up personally, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a waste of space. Okay, so Matt says, especially after hearing Kevin try to say the names and being confused, don't break the people looking at your site. Yes, thank you. Yo, by the way, though, these are great icons. Really good. I like these a lot. So let's watch the reel. I love the site so far. Presentation. Solid. The point of a contact form, so bots don't scrape your email, right, but it's right there and it's in text. So, yeah, I don't know. Twitter, does it work? Probably. What's up, Damion? Nice. Desi Dukes. All right. Followed by some folks I know. Let's watch reel, shall we? Let's go. Full volume, yes. Press and play, yes. We'll go full screen and go. Get up high. Nice, man. Kevin, mic on. It was. Why was I being loud and making things pump with the compressor? I apologize if so. I apologize. Cool. It was a bit... I kind of got lost a bit in a few parts of it, but it was pretty cool. Love the lava loop.wave. Yeah, cool stuff. Really good. I like that there's a variety of things you're showing off, more than just redesigns and such, right? So, yeah, Alexis, if you're still here, this is a really great kind of follow-up to yours. You can see kind of what a reel might look like in terms of a full encapsulation. So all those things you showed, they're very brief, and it's like, okay, enough of that, moving on. And if you want to see more, you can just scroll down, and it's down here, right? That's the idea. But in general, a lot of people won't do that, so it's really important to have everything all in one place. Okay, so let's watch once more here. Let's talk about presentation, shall we? So right away, we've got a cool opening. It's very short. Kind of weird, just abstract sound design. It's just like interesting. It starts right away. So ting, boom, no silence, says Matt. Very good. Fade away into this shot, and then whoom. You don't like the title fade-ins? I'm cool. I'm cool with this. I think it's too low, personally, as far as like the limits of where they should be. It should be a bit higher, like here instead, because that way it's not covered by these things. Just like a very small piece of point and polish. But this says Steam Early Access, which tells me you worked on it. And I hope that's true. I will carry on and look elsewhere, but I think that's the case. And sound design and Fmod implementation. Yeah, sweet. I mean, it shows what you did and that you are doing it in Fmod. Great. Carry on. This is not important to have up there at all. This merely directed my eye for no good reason because you're just telling me stuff I already know. It's right here. So I would lose this. We'll carry on. So Matt says no, doesn't like it, takes too long. So that's a good point, actually. You can have it right away. So have it already there when you fade in. Just have it here. There's no point to have you waiting. I get that you're kind of directing people's attention here and then here, but really they should be like, just note what this is right away. Okay, got it, and then look at your work for the rest of that time it's there, right? Because when you pull this in, you're saying, hey, look over here now, and now you're pulling your eye away from what you're watching and listening to. So having it right away is good, and then that way I can be like, okay, got it, and moving on. Please. So this title stayed up the entire time for that game, right? It's still up. Still up. And then it went away. And this is, again, too short. The blur behind's kind of cool, by the way. Elementales, again, get rid of this. I get that it's kind of like fancy, just get rid of it. It's not relevant for a reel. Sound design, PC and mobile. Xbox One TBC. Alright. And that one goes away. So why did the first one stay here the entire time? And this one went away? Because I caught myself being like, what's this game again? But the title, I was like, what's this game again? I looked and it was gone. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I think just having the titles up at all times is probably a better choice. Because then it's never a question. It's not a matter, it's not going to distract the viewer. It's going to say, hey, watch this stuff. And if you want to know information, it's here for you. But it's not important until you want to look at it, right? Okay. And Matt says, what's TBC? I assumed it was like... Actually, you know what? I was thinking TBD, like to be determined. So yeah, what's TBC, man? To be certified? Oh, it's like awaiting certification? Are you even like allowed to say that? Is that public knowledge? I mean, to be confirmed. Yeah, I mean, I would just put up your reel as like a... Just make an update that says Xbox One when it goes on Xbox One. I don't think that having it to be confirmed is that relevant. I mean, it's shipped on PC and something else, right? What was it again? PC and mobile. So it's shipped at all. I think that's probably good enough. I don't need to know also it's on Xbox One. Like, I don't really care what it's on that much. I care that it's shipped and it's a real title. Like if someone says, for example, if I told you that I worked on Darkest Dungeon, which shipped on PC and PS4 and Vita, and then I said like another one maybe, like it's to be confirmed. Like if I said like Wii U to be confirmed, it's not happening. But like if I just said that, it doesn't mean anything. It's not on Wii U right now. It might just not ever make it there. So it's kind of like just it's non-information, you know. And furthermore, would it really make you? Would it affect your opinion of that game and my abilities or my position and experience any more than what I already just said? If I said like to be confirmed Wii U, like is that? Or you said like, oh, in that case, I'm now interested. Like it doesn't mean anything, you know. So we'll carry on. Aegism, weapon sound design, redesign, PC beta, Simon DeWorst, cool. Again, get rid of this, but you know that. So this clip had me kind of dizzy. I was like trying to follow along. A lot was happening back to back to back to back to back, and you could probably take a page from Matt's book of Perform Your Gameplay and just find a good spot where you can show more than like one thing. Or, I mean, the thing is your crossfades are like so long compared to your clips too. So if we go here, it's like start fade. It's like a full second to fade, and then a second on it, and then another second. So you're constantly crossfading. It's a bit dizzying. So it's really important, like the whole thing about like driving narrative and having people know what they're looking at and such. You also want to make sure that they can get a foothold. There's a balance to be struck there, right? It's kind of like I think a while back, Ali Toker gave us Ali Toshe gave us his reel, and we had that note for him because he had like a lot of good stuff in his reel, but it was almost too much, you know. It was just very like I couldn't keep up with what was happening. Once I slowed it down, I was like, oh yeah, these are all pretty cool things to include, and you might want to it might be a hard choice to trim the fat, but it's like the opposite problem from what we just had with Alexis, is that you have like too many cuts, you know. So maybe it's worth having a different part of gameplay or something. That's tough. Okay, so Matt sees cares what it's on as far as I judge a mobile title of a different PC console. Yeah, sure, handled. Sure. So, is it a redesign, or are you working on the actual game? The title confused me. I assumed you're working on it. Because you've got where it is. So, if you say Steam Early Access, I assume that you're working on it. And then same thing for this guy here, for this guy. It says PC and mobile. PC beta, I assume you also worked on it, but I don't know where it is. Like beta is kind of is on Steam, or like it's PC downloadable or something, beta. That could be a bit more clear, perhaps. I need a super quick clips there. They're too fast. Try and make it one clip if you can, or two if you have to. Man, that's high. So I got issues with that, but ageism. Okay, yeah, sure. All right. So overall, yeah, front and back, this is great. The opening is great. The titles are okay, but they should be up at all times. Your crossfades can go probably a bit snappier, like maybe twice as fast, because it's a lot of blurred images going between things. It's a lot of that. Could be a little better as far as that goes. And then yeah, the clips thing. Just try and find a way to maybe lessen the number of clips. It's just hard to keep track of what's happening because like you know the game and you know what's coming out, but a blind person coming in, or not blind person, but like a person coming in blind, they won't have any kind of foothold in these projects. They won't know what they're looking at until they're already watching it, right? So if I watch this, watch it one more time, it's like crossfade. Okay, what am I looking at? I got a cannon here, I guess. Shoots, and then like it's gone, and now I'm looking at something else, and it's like, what the? Even going through it now, I couldn't even like commentate what I was looking at. It was so fast, right? It's a pretty big problem, and you could probably do well to change this clip. Having it here is really important, but just the content's kind of crazy. Okay, so let's talk about material selection. Well, I like the fact that you've got implementation on shipped things. That's fantastic. There's 3D here. It looks like we've got something else here. Yeah, this is like a, I don't know what this is, but it's still kind of 3D. It's like a 3D game with maybe 2D perspective. I don't really know how this game works, but it could be designed in 2D. It looks like. And then is that it? Those 4 things. Okay, so this. So I'm not sure what you want to work on as a designer. Like I'm not positive kind of what games you're looking for. I would guess that you're looking to work with small teams as a freelance sound designer, just by glancing at this. So I'm curious. You can tell me right now. I'm curious to know what you want to be doing in your career. If you want to be independent as a contractor, or if you want to work for a studio or whatever. Because yeah, I'm not entirely clear what you want to do, but it seems like that. Okay, cool. So correct. Yeah, cool then. That's good. Yeah, so, and then sound design here. So did you do any implementation or just content creation? And so what are you talking about there, Matt? I keep seeing this. So ageism, you're saying maybe... Oh, I see. So yeah, the weapon sound design redesign thing. I understand. So, not slash, but plus. So, yes, there you go. Yeah, because like you did it. This is like an and or. It's like sound design and or redesign kind of thing. Yeah, that could be a little clearer. I didn't catch that the first time. Sorry, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, so implementation's cool. Then content creation's cool too. And then looks like more content creation here for the sound design. And then for the last bit, we have more content creation. Okay, so you have some implementation, and it's first. That's great. And this says to me you want to do contracting, so good. Great. I'm curious what else on your page, though, for materials, because you have... So we saw this one. What's Flight of Light? What's this? Oh, it's music. Oh, I see. So you have your music reel here also. Let's glance through these really fast. So we'll glance at music. How long is this guy? A minute. Oh, sick. Good for you. That's a great opening. All right. Yo, flow-wise, just look at the night and day between the previous one and this one. I know exactly what's happening in these shots for each game. What is this game? This is amazing. Rise high. Flow is so much better, Damion. Like, this is so much better than the previous one. Oh, please. Please fix your main reel, man. Implementation. Let's see this. Full screen. By the way, I'm watching this because I want to. So, Alexis, take note. I'm now digging deeper because I want to see more, okay?
This Fmod event makes use of a danger parameter,
Commentary.
which tells Fmod how threatening the current situation is. So when you see an enemy and the danger value is quite low, you might hear something like this.
Yo, danger dependent? Danger dependent. Where is it? Danger dependent. Stingers. Which is correct. That's the correct spelling. And then danger dependent is in this one. Fix it.
But if the danger value is up high, you could hear something like this. You'll notice that when I play sounds, they appear over here in the hierarchy, a different object for each layer of sound. But they are destroyed when the sound finishes, to remove them from the scene and keep the hierarchy nice and tidy. So when this variation parameter reaches max, all of the instruments are now improvising. And when we take it back to 0, the song returns to normal.
That's cool. I'm down. Yo, Damion. These two are so much stronger. I like these a lot more than this one, just for the flow alone. But yeah, cool. Like, this kind of thing just goes so far. Because I can only assume that this like music variation thing.
Variation parameter.
Music variation. That's so cool, man. Like, this is really cool. And this just shows like creativity and technical know-how, and like, this thing will stick with me. I'm gonna remember this. These colored tracks, look at this. You didn't need to color those tracks. I see it, man. Yeah, great. Really, really cool. I'm super down with that, man. So, Matt says that could almost get me to watch longer videos and those things. Yeah, totally. Do you have more of it here? Procedural music experiment. Let's look at this. We're now watching the 5-minute video. Let's see this. I want to see this. This would be a nice flow into our Fmod chat after this, after real talk.
My name is Damion Sheppard, and I do sound design, music, and implementation for video games. I've always been interested in procedural music, the idea that a piece of music could kind of dynamically self-improvise on the fly. So, when I first started using Fmod Studio, I did a little experiment using probably the most famous piece of video game music. So before I explain what this variation control here does and how it works, I'm just going to turn it up to full, and you can listen to probably the most beloved piece of video game music get absolutely butchered. So let's go inside this event and see what is happening. Here you can see all the different sections, A, B, C, A, D, C. A little intro on the beginning, and then the various instruments on the tracks. We're going to focus on just one section, otherwise it's all a bit overwhelming. So let's listen to the B section again. So when when I put the variation control to number 1, the drums will start to vary or improvise. If I set the variation to 2, then the bass will join in with some improvisation. And if I go to 3,
what happens?
The lead will start to improvise.
Yo, Matt, yes, totally.
So variation back to 0, and the song returns to its original form. Just like we have the song split into sections, each section is split into phrases. Phrase 1, 2, phrase 1 again, and then phrase 4. Okay, let's look at phrase 1. So now you can see that the events have moved from the timeline to the variation parameter.
Yo, Joseph Harvey in the chat from Fmod with the shout out. Carrying on.
Is set at 2.4 or below, then no variation will happen. So if we go inside, we see that we have a multi-sound, but it only has one clip in it, the original melody. If variation goes above 2.4, then it plays this event instead, which contains another multi-sound, which has 4 different melodies. The original melody, and then 3 variations. That was variation 1. Here's another.
FYI, I've literally never even acknowledged that these buttons exist. I've never even looked at those. I was like, how do you do that? Oh, there's a play button there. Cool.
And the final one. So as you can hear, they're not too dissimilar from the original melody. I wanted it to be feasible that an actual musician could have kind of improvised this on the spot. It's worth pointing out that by limiting the resolution to the phrase level, I can still create something that's definitely going to be at least vaguely musical, rather than trying to build a system that randomly chooses individual notes of a phrase. And that is basically how it all works. Obviously, there are some differences depending upon the section of music and the instrument. My favourite setting for the variation is 2, because that keeps the lead part very familiar, whereas the kind of backing instruments get to improvise around the lead part. So it provides some more interest without totally destroying something very popular.
Oh, we're gonna win?
Thanks for watching.
Oh! Yo! Give that man an award. Holy. Yes. Can I please get claps from everyone in the chat right now? That was out of control. So, I'm pretty sure Barney just... he just said... So, I've always said that Barney Oram has been, like, the best... probably the best reel we've seen on Real Talk. I mean, there's always, like, kind of pros and cons to everyone's submissions, right? So, it's very... It's hard to, like, choose who's up top. And someone's actually suggested before... I don't recall who it was. Was it you, Matt? No, it was somebody else. It was, like, talking about how we should have the, like, the Top Gear board, you know, for the guests doing the lap. And have, like, the best reel, and they get dethroned and stuff. But the problem is, like, when someone submits and the reel is awful because they just don't know any better, I don't want to be like, and to the bottom with you. Like, that's kind of a dick move, right? But... Yo, that was out of control. So, huge props to you, Damion. That was fantastic. The fact is, I don't think we've ever done that ever before. We've never seen something in a reel. That was Matt, okay, sure. We've never seen something in a reel and then said, okay, let's see more of that, and then watch the full thing. we've glanced, like hell, we glanced with Sean last week, or we glanced at his stuff, but that was out of control. The reel itself is like okay, like it's pretty good as far as sound design goes, but that goes so far. Like this makes me want to watch these ones also. That's huge. You know, just the whole so Matt says props for shutting Kevin up and making him watch the videos straight up. Yeah, straight up. That finish, how cheeky is that? I love it. Thanks for watching. Cranks the variation, or cranks the win parameter.
Setting for the variation to improvise around the lead part. So it provides some more interest.
So that sentence too provides more interest without destroying a song people like. That's like just shows sensibility as far as being tasteful.
Without totally
and
destroying
then
something very popular. Thanks for watching.
Into the finish. Man, that's so fucking tight. Not bad. Not bad, man. I'm fully into it. Great. Okay, so let's talk about the actual design reel again. So let's talk about content quality. I think we left off there. We might run a bit over. We'll try and be fast with this. So yeah, it's tough because like my first thought in this first clip was that everything seems kind of the same volume, and the dynamics were kind of lacking in my opinion. It's like like all the vocals. I mean, I might be wrong, but on first listen it seemed like they were pretty similar. And to the left. It's the same volume again, but I can't even see that guy. He's like over here somewhere, you know? So it seemed like a lot of the stuff was like, the mix could be clarified a lot in terms of what we're hearing, like kind of decide what is important to hear and make sure that's focused in the mix. Because it seems like we're just stacking stuff up right now. So yeah, so zombie game sounds distorted and muddy. I'm kind of inclined to agree. The elephant, especially, was pretty like, brrr, and like everything happened, right? So the thing is, I get it because the elephant's like a big moment, and you're using a superpower or something like that. One more time. Yeah, it seemed really loud. Yeah, just everything, it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, everything's really quite loud. It's 8-player local co-op, so it's really busy. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to contend with. I mean, you're forced to do things like make choices in design where different characters or different voices or different weapons occupy different frequency ranges so that they're not all stacking up and masking each other and or distorting. We actually did that with Towerfall. So Towerfall is like a bunch of different archers, and the first version of Towerfall had 4 archers, and we had it such that the actually I might be able to find that really fast. We had it such that the archers had voices in different pitch registers, and by doing this, we were able to kind of further or increase the chances of archers being heard in game because they here we go. This is the one right here. I think this is it, right? Yeah. So here's the readies. Right, they're all kind of in their own space. So as a result, if they all go at once, they'll all kind of like fill their little slot in the spectrum, you know? And they won't be like, if everyone's like ba-na and they're all ba-na, that's gonna be the worst because you won't know who's making the sound and where it's coming from. I talked a lot about the elements of an engaging sound mix, I think last week, and that might be worth looking at as well. Just making sure that you're kind of paying attention to balance, panorama, frequency range, like I was talking about just now, dimension, like having a sense of space and dynamics from moment to moment, and also like compression and stuff. Make sure it's not too loud or too soft, and then interest, just making it sound kind of cool. So. All right, so you got Fmod, so definitely dig into heavy dynamic mixing. Kevin's thoughts on space natural sound design is great too. Yeah, I mean, you're in Fmod, and you can do things like, have buses with side chains and compressors and such. So when you have something like a big superpower, and you want to make sure it's heard, then just duck everything else in the mix while it's happening. I mean, I don't know the game's gameplay that well, but just that kind of philosophy. Decide that this is important and therefore want to hear this right now. In Darkest Dungeon, we get a lot of good comments on how the attack sounds pop really hard, and we duck the music a bit. And you don't hear the music go down because your focus isn't on the music. Your focus is on the sound design. So when it's like, poof, when some big hit happens, you're hearing that, and it's really clear because it's not just stacking on top of what's already there. It's actually like we're carving out space for it to fill that void, right? So yeah, just things to think about. The next shot, this is like fine, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't. It was a bit kind of. Yeah, I mean, the ambience is kind of fine. It's just like, and that's it. The design itself was, I don't know. It's just like it's a cannon explosion. And again, things are flying by so fast, it's hard to see what I'm looking at. I kind of understand it now, having watched it like 9 times. There's different characters who can make a cannon happen, and they make it happen by different methods. So I kind of get that now, and that's why you're making cuts. But yeah, I would still encourage you to find a way to make this clip just smoother. It's a lot of like really whistly, I guess like arrows, is that what that was? And they're all kind of the same sample or very similar. And it seemed like, so it's like just weapons, I guess? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at here. Like, it's some weapon design, and they go by so fast. We have like the arrow thing. And so, as you can see right now, Damion, it's like we're having a hard time giving you feedback because it's hard to tell what we're looking at, and so I'm almost like hesitant to give you feedback because I don't know that what I'm commenting on is accurate. So that alone should be a concern to you, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I can't really comment. This was kind of fine, I guess. Like the. I kind of expected to see more or hear more small movements and all these little guys moving around. I don't know how big they are in reality, but I kind of wanted a more high frequency. Although, let's just double check. It's not this. Some Duke. I'm hearing highs elsewhere, so it shouldn't be that. But we'll do this one more time. Yeah, it seems like it's kind of like a. And that the big gong is kind of filling the time. But I suspect that if you pulled that gong out, it would feel like it's not as full of sound as what we're hearing. Like this kind of thing. This kind of thing is great to use tools that can make... Like, I'm actually curious of what Fmod thinks about this, because I've done this for... I did this for a redesign I did a long time ago. And I'm just gonna lay it all bare and just admit this to you guys, but I totally used Fmod to give me a random something kind of like this. So I designed a bunch of like stone movements. I'll use this piece as an example, okay? So if I did this, I'd like design the stone movements. I designed like 4 or 5 or something, and then I went into Fmod Designer, I think it was at the time, and I pulled them all into Designer and created it. I was like, okay, play this sound definition, I think it was called. And then I said, play like 20 of these, and it's kind of like a scatterer these days in Fmod Studio, right? I was like, play 20 of these, and I recorded the output, and I just like, it's really, really cool. It was like really kind of a bit wide and different pitch and quite rich. And it was way easier than looking at this and like syncing each separate thing being like, oh, that would move like this, not move like this. It's a nightmare to do it like that, right? So I'm curious what Firelight thinks about this like using Fmod as a design tool, like recording the output of it, because it's kind of like cheating. We're using this free software to like do sound design, like to do things it wasn't really intended for. But I don't think I would do that in a shipped product. I don't think I have done that in a shipped product. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, so that's like the point being that this seems more busy, more active than we're hearing it. But anyway, and these bells are pretty piercing. I might be careful with the highs. It's like right on the edge of being too much. But, and that gets too much for sure. The ending, the whistle, the whole thing with our ears perceiving high frequency very very efficiently, and therefore you should be careful with those things because they pierce through and just stab you in the eardrum. Yeah, it's too much. But cool finish. No silence, I like it. Yeah, honestly, the best thing on here is this freaking thing, the implementation. The sound design's okay. It's I think that you will for sure get better because you have a lot of drive, obviously, and that is what I would hire you for personally. If I was hiring, I would be like, this is awesome, shows creativity, shows initiative, shows all these things, and then I'd look at this and be like, we can improve that. I feel like we can make him better. So yeah, I mean, super strong reel, man. Like I would argue that Barney's, so Barney Orm's sound design is better. That's my objective opinion. But this is like clearly better than his reel. Like there's no question. This grabbed me way harder than Barney's site did. So props, man. Distinction, yeah. This is a distinct one. So again, huge. Well done, man. I'm gonna call it right there as far as Real Talk's concerned. Super good. Damn, Barney showed out again. Damn it. It's gonna keep happening. We should make like a top like 5 or something like that. You know, I could probably listen in my head. I don't know. Yeah, people are. I mean, like I said, people are good for different reasons. You know. So okay, let's close this off. And freaking Fmod Studio.